What's going on, everybody? Well, it's a beautiful day out there. Me and my wife played a game of cornhole. First time in I don't know how long. Probably forever just about. And it's hot. And it's a good complaint to have this time of year. But it's only going to get hotter. So now, I'm doing a little printing right now. I was testing out this filament Eric sent. And then today we got another box with two more rolls. He sent one roll that showed up yesterday, and then we got two more gray. Now I didn't notice if it's the ones I sent the link for or not, but one of these is the Rapid PLA. You can print quicker with it, but it's not as strong. And then we got some PETG, P-E-T-G, PETG, whatever you want to call it. So all right, y'all. While everything is printing over there, here's the real plot to this story today. Oh, Bo and Luke Duke, they keep getting in trouble, flipping the car, cracking the body, stuff like that. The other day we cracked the window all the way. It don't look like it now because I kind of placed it back in. I squeezed it back, right? But it goes all the way up to the end of the window, all around it. So we took a good tumble. Back here, took a little damage. I already took the plate off. I thought I lost it at first, but I was like, no, I took that off there for something. The mirror popped back on, so we're good there. The point is, she needs to rest easy for just a little bit, because we're going to borrow this wicked badass 4,000 kV HOBBYWING quick run with 120 amp ESC. But what could we be borrowing that for? I think you already know. You probably do if I put it in the title, duh. Get on there. Because I think the old Ford here is needing to rip. 3S is really good in this truck. But imagine 4,000 kV brushless. 120 amp ESC. Let's try to keep them front wheels down after we get that in there. So that's what this video is. I think that's what we're going to do right now, matter of fact. Let me move this out the way because the first thing we got to do is get that out. Before I even take apart the General Lee, we got to make sure that we can handle this task. So let's get some things out of the way here and let's get busy. So alright, y'all, now I have not attempted to take this apart at all yet. Now I seen RC Driver's video where he did take it apart. He said there was a lot going on back there to get it apart, so I don't know. If just taking the motor out it's going to be like that, he was taking other stuff apart for it. Just the motor, I think we should be lucky, right? Boom, boom, motor out. Please, be easy. Let's find out. So I will just clue you in. There's two screws that hold this cover on the back here so far. This one over here is short, but look how long this screw is. That goes in the back here just for a cover. Now that's obviously there's something else going on that's holding. I don't know yet. Just what holds the entire motor together, I suppose. It's one of them, but there's that. So now let's whip it around. I'm gonna take the other tire off and we're going to take that cover off. And this motor should just slide right out after taking two screws out, right? In theory. Sorry, y'all, just like we was hoping. This little cover does take the smaller headed screws, but there's just two, one in the bottom down there, one up top. You take that off and you got your two screws, and the opening is big enough that the pinion gear should be able to stay on that motor when it comes out. At least that's the hopes. And they put the nice big screws in there, so they're usually less chances of stripping. Knock on wood. Pretty good deal. There we go. They have a washer on them as well, so let's not lose that. Man, that turned out to be a sweet deal, you guys. I've literally only got about 5 minutes invested in this here swap so far. Just taken apart anyway. And we should be good to go. Nice. 14 turn motor, brushed. Check out this pinion. Has it got the number on it? Or am I going to have to count that later? I think it said 13 in the book on the teeth. But anyway, shabam, baby. Wait a minute, didn't I need a 13? Oh no, I don't want to put a 13 on that truck. But anyway, so now we're going to take the General Lee apart. Let me get all this moved over. So alright y'all, check it out. We got the HOBBYWING BL120 with this big dog right here. 4,000 kV. But guess what? It never works for me ever. The other day when I was working on my orange truck, I couldn't get that gear off the motor. So this one we're going a little more in depth because it will work on what I have here, except it's one too smaller probably. Oops, sorry. I've already been drilling on this one. Because the one that comes out of this truck, of course, they use that damn Loctite. I'm trying the heated up method before I really strip that out. Because I don't have a bit. I had bits that were supposed to fit it, but they didn't. Even the one that comes with it, I believe, was a little bit sloppy, so it rounded on the first go round. And that's all I've done so far. And then I take other like star bits and try them. Sometimes you get lucky, but that damn Loctite is on there. So I'm hoping now that I can heat it up. I got a square bit, or actually it's like a triangle bit, but it actually fit in there really tight. We're gonna hope I can heat that stuff up and get it loose. If not, this one's one tooth smaller, and I'm still gonna be continuing to drill on this one. I'm making some headway here. So I need them both. I don't know if I'll be able to get it threaded again. That's the problem, getting them pieces back out without ruining it. I got plenty of the little grub screws, but man, I hate them things. That Loctite, they put it on there because they're worried it's going to come off, and I get it, but damn. I guess, worst case scenario, I'm going to be ordering some new pinion gears. Because this thing, oh man, we should be out there already just ripping right now. I can't wait. So, I'm going to let that heat up for a good 15-20 minutes over there. I just put the solder gun to it. I think it's up at like 450 degrees supposedly is what it goes to. So if we can get the head of that screw that hot, we can hopefully shrink some stuff and get it to break loose. It ain't super hot, but you know what I mean. And I'm going to keep working on this just in case while I'm waiting. If I can get this one to come off, we can use it. So if I can keep it from being too bad. So other than that, this is all my problem trying to get the pinion gears off. Everything else, super simple to change out the motor. I mean, super simple. You can't really get it much easier. There's 4 screws, 2 on the back cover, 2 on the front cover, unplug the motor. Boom. So, alright y'all, the struggles are real. We've been fighting with these pinion gears. But also, printing on the computer, I tried to go ahead and make another one of these with the other filament we got. See this darker color? Here's the PLA, and then we got this PETG. But this kind is like super good or something. I don't know, like it don't want to melt. And I've turned up the thing. I've done all that. It says on the box from between 230 degrees to 250, and I had it at 250. Yeah, it just really wasn't working out the way I wanted it to. So I'm switching back to the other filament, hoping it will print again, because I couldn't get nothing to come out. It wouldn't stick to the tray or nothing. It would on the test pass it does on the side before it starts printing, but then every time it starts printing it wasn't going. I don't know if I need to turn the speed down or what. We're going to figure it out, but for now, well, all I did was switch, and now it's working fine. So I guess I'm going to have to figure some settings out on that bad boy. And I did turn up the temperature. Well, at least that one's printing just fine. Now, it does say my printing speed's at 100%, at least now. I don't know if I can keep an eye on that when I go back to the other filament, and I'm going to see if I can turn the speed down on the printing, because this filament can print from 40 to 300 millimeters a second, or whatever it's called. But the other one is only good for up to 100 millimeters per second, or whatever that means, if I'm saying it right. But this can go 3 times as fast, so I need to turn my printer way down to do the darker stuff. But that stuff right there is pretty stout compared to this. I don't know. They feel, yeah, there's a big difference. It's all good. I got to get these things done. Here's the one I took off of. This was off of my crawler motor. It's, I think, 1 tooth smaller than what's actually on this car, but it's okay. I've about got it drilled out. Guess what had happened? Oh, I drilled it enough that I'm so close that I actually pried this off afterwards. This is a 13. That's probably a 14. So I'm fine with going down one. My only other option, see, is going all the way up to a 17. But not that I would mind that. Besides, the only problem is this is like a really rough gear. Look how sharp it is. I've worn this out. This is a worn out Red Cat 17 tooth pinion. It's sharp as can be. It'd just tear my spur gear up probably somewhat. So if that or a 26, I can go up to a 26. Boy, we really get it gone then, won't we? So let me try to drill this. I only got 20 minutes till Survivor comes on. My day just ain't going well when it comes down to it. I want this baby rolling at least by tomorrow. We're going to have this thing hitting them wheelie bars. Well, it looks like if not, I'll have to order some gears. I can have them in a couple days, hopefully. But so, all right, y'all. Let me tell you where we're at, because now I'm fixing to have to take this back open and change the gear, because I ended up, the stock gear I found out is a 14 tooth, I believe. I couldn't get that one off there, stripped out the grub screw. Yesterday when I was working on my axial, well, this truck, I went brushless with it. We got it all together, but the stock gear that was on the motor I took out, I couldn't get off either. It was on my Trailmaster in there. Well, it was a 13 tooth, one smaller than that. Oop, and you just seen the piece come out of it. This piece right here is where I just got done finally drilling the grub screw out. That was what was left in the threads. Now, I'm going to tell you what, I broke off one of my drill bits drilling through there. But I got it off enough that I was able to take a screwdriver and pry this off the motor because it was a little weak. So I got it off the motor. Well, then I found this booger here. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if we'll be able to see it on here, if it will focus, but it like bored through that sucker the rest of the way just like a damn coal mine bit. And it worked pretty good. So then I had to take this drill bit, ream out what was left in there, and then you put them in reverse and you can make these threads scuff up and come out somewhat. I literally had to take this drill bit, just put it in there and pulled them out. So now that I finally got this is the 13 off my other truck, but we're going to use it. It's only 1 tooth smaller than stock. Unless I can get that one done tonight. But we're taking out this stock system with a 14 turn motor, and we just went to a 4,000 kV HOBBYWING motor with a 120 amp system going in. It's not mounted yet, but the motor's in. But I put a 12 tooth instead of this 13 or 14 because it was all I could get off of the other truck I had. So I was running out of options. So I am going to take that out. I haven't run it yet, but I don't want the 12 tooth. I want to at least put this 13. So all right, y'all. Now I figured since I was able to get this one out with my little fancy bit right there that you can't see right now. There we go. That thing worked so good getting that one out, and I got it re-threaded and everything there. I went ahead and gave it a shot on this one. And even though there's still a little piece in there, I was able to take and pry it up. It slid right up a little bit. So basically, just got to get cleaned out of there, and we can put the stock gear on this truck like I needed to do. Literally would have had this done other than the way I have to mount my ESC because it doesn't really fit up top. But as far as the motor swap and everything, if it wasn't for this gear, you can swap this motor in 10 minutes, no problem. It's literally take the 2 screws out of this cover on one side, take 2 screws out of the motor, it's out. Take off the pinion gear, put it all back together. Alright, y'all. Now this little grinder thing I was talking about is the shiznit, man. It's saved 2 of these pinion gears. Guess what though? I went through all this work. Here's one of the threads that I got out with that thing. That's pretty cool. So here's the deal though. I assume since this is a 13 that one was a 14 because it seems like it's bigger around and everything. Not just taller, but I mean when you put them together this way, the one is just a little bit bigger, but not by much. Well, turns out they're both 13s. But it don't matter. I needed them both. This went to my other truck. And this is a lot bigger, heavier duty for this truck. So let's go ahead and get that one installed. Try to get the one I put on it back off. Hopefully it ain't stuck now. That'd be my luck. God. Knock on wood. Jeez. So, alright. Well, everything has been fighting me on this project. So unless there's a way to shim this spur gear a little bit out, the next problem we have is, well, you see the stock motor shaft goes straight all the way down, no problem, all the way into the motor. This motor shaft comes down and bevels at the end. Well, guess what? That holds the shaft from going down past about right there. So what I've had to do now, I've had to drill on the end. I've had to take my grinder tool and go around and bevel the end of this so that it would seat further down. And then on this shaft, it's not grinded all the way down. So now I've also had to file it down there to try to get a flat spot for the screw because the Allen screw wants to raise it up, or the grub screw, or it makes it to where it's going to loosen. So it's been fighting me the whole way, but we're going to have this bad boy riding wheelies tomorrow, I'm telling you. So let me finish this up. Well, you could shim the motor, a couple washers, you know, on the back side of that if you have to. That's my worst case scenario because I like having a nice seated motor tight on there. So let me see how this is going to work now. Now, about all I'm going to be able to get you. This is where it was about when I started. Now, if I loosen this on, boom, I can get it down to there. Just past flush. That's as far as I can go. We're going to just see how it lines. See, before the spur was hitting on these, the smooth part. So, let me see what's going to happen now. So, alright y'all, now, even though this was a chore, I think it's going to be well worth the outcome. And the only reason it was a chore was because I could have just went and ordered the proper pinion gear or different pinion gears that don't have that solid piece. Obviously, if I didn't have to fight with pinion gears to get them off the other motors. So, my advice, unless you're running with used stuff you already have like me, when you order you a new HOBBYWING system or whatever you're putting in, go ahead and get you a new 13 tooth or a 14 tooth if you want to go up one. Stock is 13. Get you a new gear before you start, so that way. And also try to find one of them ones that's got threads all the way down, or the solid base part right here needs to be the least amount possible. This one here would be okay, but the one I'm using, it's really like that right there. It's real thick at the bottom. So get one that's got less of the metal down here, more threads coming down, and you'll be fine. Or do what I did and ream the bottom. See how that one's solid all the way through? I took and reamed the bevel to the edge of that. Now that's how we got it where we got it. So we're good to go. I'm gonna put the cover on, put the tire on, We got to get the ESC and receiver mounted. I forgot I got to put a receiver in this now and get a different controller going. FlySky has a new controller I've seen out. It's about 150, 160 bucks. Haven't seen it on Amazon or nothing though. You got to get it at Banggood or Alay or Ilay or Ali Express or whatever you want to call it. I've never ordered from either one of those. But it's a FlySky. It's all digital. You can program up to 40 remotes, which I have just over 40 RC cars, like 45, so that'd be perfect. The reason it'd be perfect for me is most of my rigs that are already on a FlySky controller, I don't have to buy a receiver. So all of my FMS rigs, all those, would program right to that controller. I've been waiting for something like that to come out. If I'd have went and bought any other one, I'd have had to buy a receiver for every car. So this is the perfect remote for me if I can ever afford an extra $150 freaking dollars nowadays. You know how the world goes. But anyway, let me finish buttoning this up. We'll be right back. So now we got the whole motor buttoned up. I could have leaned this to where this would have been up here or back there. I went with it that way. I don't know if I might be able to actually put this on there like that. I didn't think about that. Wouldn't be able to put the fan on there like this, but I could actually use that and still get away with putting this back on. I didn't think about it, but we won't be. Nah. I'm just leaving this cover off because it doesn't really need it. I put the screw back in that goes there. It's a real long one. Didn't tighten it all the way yet, but here's what I got to do next. I'm going to put my ESC up here because that's where the stock one goes. The stock one's got a screw. Oops, sorry. There's a screw on each side, and it screws down right here and here. Well, I'm going to take my tool and I'm going to cut this one off. If I were to put the stock one back on, we'll just put one screw, maybe some tape underneath it. But I got to get that off there on one side so that I can actually put this big boy up there. So it's going to go right there like so once I take one side off. And to do that, we're going back to my Jank Life tool. I've already got the grinder in here ready to roll. This thing worked really good on the project I did yesterday, trying to get the motor out of the other truck. I had to cut a slit in a screw and turn it into a flathead screw because the Allen screw had stripped. So we're getting there. Move, baby, look at that. Can't even ever tell it was there. So now we can just sticky this baby down and I ain't got to worry about it. Oh yeah, cat. And over here could be the receiver. Now the power button, I'm thinking maybe in here somewhere, because they had it where you kind of reach up in there to hit it anyway. So maybe I'll just stick the power button, you know, somewhere right up here next to this clip. Somewhere like that even. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. But this is going up here. These wires, I'll probably turn this around. We'll see. Cat, what are you doing over there? That U-beans. And then we'll come up, tuck them into there, whatever. So, alright, y'all. Now, this thing... Oh, I didn't think about all them wires is back there. I'm going to have to kind of fold them over. But anyway, this thing's going to be insane. I set it down on the floor, gave it just a little gas on the carpet, and almost did a backflip already. So, I'm sure we're going to be putting this to the test tomorrow. So, let's see if this is going to work out with all these pieces. Well, I know it will, but I just kind of tuck them down a little bit like so. Tuck these down like so. Be fine. So, alright, y'all. There's a very good chance this is my fastest vehicle at the moment. If I can keep this thing on the ground, I mean, I figure we're going to be using them wheelie bars up really good now. And I'm not trying to destroy it. but I do want to see if it can take some power. I'm not the best person to do this because I'm going to probably destroy it by wrecking it. But we're going to have some fun. We're going to set this thing off a few ramps. We're going to just enjoy it like we have been. Except we're going to have a lot more power. Now, I was kind of happy where it was at on the 3S. But the motor got really hot. So I figured if we can do this and still run it on a 2S. Good Lord, I imagine what a 3S is going to do in this thing. But anyway, guys, we got her all together. I don't want to sit here and push this button because it is fast. So, I guess tomorrow we'll find out just how fast it's going to be. I wish I had a GPS to where I could have did a speed run in the past. I've seen other people do speed runs with them, so we're just going to figure out how fast it is now, not how fast it used to be. We already know it used to be slow. So, stay tuned for the next video, guys. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Click on the link in the description below and get you one of these. Them things are awesome.